The things that protect us, give us food and develop medicine are dying out quick.
Time to make a super coral play, y'all.
But that's nothing, cause this is my era.
What about you?
This is my era. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my era.
We invite you to take the super coral play challenge.
This is my era.
Do something to reduce your carbon footprint and show the world.
Take action, cause this is my era. What about you?
The coral reef's getting bleached every day.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another Coffee Talk. I am Rita Varios, your host, and this Coffee Talk is going to be super informative and super fun because we're going to be talking about super coral play. And to tell us just exactly what that is, are joining us this afternoon Vice Mayor Vince Lago and the Senior VP of Marketing for MSC, Miss Bonnie Levengood. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. So, Vice Mayor, can you tell us about this name change, the Super Coral Gables? What is that all about, and is that going to be a permanent change?
Well, as you know, Rita, we take a lot of great pride here in the city of Coral Gables, not only the commission, but the residents and the business community to put the environment first. We have been the leaders, not only in South Florida, but throughout the state of Florida, in making an effort to be sustainable, to understand and to push forward environmental initiatives that are going to draw the attention necessary to being stewards of the environment. I was reached out prior to the commencement of the Super Bowl by MSC Cruises, and they talked about partnering with Coral Gables due to our long history of environmental stewardship. And they talk about having us doing a super play, and that super play being us, the city of Coral Gables, challenging another city, municipality in Miami-Dade County in an effort to see what we could do to help the environment.
And what exactly do we want these other cities to do?
So what we did was we came up with our super play, super coral play. And our super coral play is that we're going to request voluntarily that the residents during the summer months, which are the most rainy months here in our city, in Miami-Dade County, to cease the use of fertilizers. These fertilizers play a big role in the presence of significant phosphates and other highly nutrient producing items that end up in our water. And that water then ends up in the bay, which results in a disruption to the bay and also hurts our corals and other living organisms. So our play is to reduce the use of fertilizers, if not eliminate voluntarily, the residents and the business community during the summer months in Coral Gables.
So you know what, Vice Mayor Lago, inquiring minds want to know about the lighting of City Hall. Who came up with that idea?
I would love to take credit for that, but our partners at MSC Cruises, which have been doing such a wonderful job spreading the word about environmental stewardship, came up with that idea, came up with the name change, and it's just taken hold. And they'll give a little bit more information in regards to how this has been received online and through social media, but people can't stop talking about it. And the whole point here is to educate our community about the dangers of allowing these phosphates and fertilizers and nutrients to end up in the water column and end up basically hurting one of our natural resources, which are so incredibly important, not only to the future, but to the present of Miami-Dade County.
That's right. Well, I'm not lit up like City Hall, but I did try to do a coral. But speaking of educating precisely, I'm going to toss now to our expert, Miss Bonnie Levengood. Bonnie, please help educate us further and inform us about the corals. So let's start with that. What exactly is a coral reef? What is a coral?
Well, Rita, it's really interesting because a lot of people think that coral is a rock or a plant, but actually coral is a living animal that is living in the ocean, and it's comprised of these tiny little polyps that come together to form colonies. And it's sort of the rainforest of the sea that is vitally important to our oceans. And believe it or not, they've been in existence for over 210 million years.
Wow. Wow. Unbelievable. And tell us, why is their existence so important?
So coral is a diverse ecosystem, and they're very important because they are home to a quarter of marine life. So coral reefs are home to a quarter of fish and animals, and it's essentially, without coral reefs, it's the destruction of our oceans. In addition, they form a barrier to protect us from flooding of hurricanes and from storms, which is vitally important to Miami and
Yes.
Coral Gables and South Florida in general. And you may not know this, but in the United States, 84% of coral reefs are actually in Florida. And so for us, it's vitally important because $6 billion worth of economic impact is from coral reefs, in addition to about 71,000 jobs. So it's really important for us, not only from a moral responsibility and an environmental responsibility, but also from an economic impact for us to protect coral. And lastly, coral is also an important source of future medicines for cancer, arthritis, and other life-threatening diseases. So their survival is really important for many different reasons.
So speaking of their survival, what is in this moment, at this day and age, what is threatening their survival?
So around the world, coral is bleaching, and the United Nations predicts now that within 2 decades, up to 90% of coral will be gone. And that is shocking, because you're talking about a genre of species that's been around for over 200 million years being gone, during our lifetime. And this is quite shocking. So this is why it's so important for us to really do something to take a change, because we cannot allow this to happen. And why is it happening is because the oceans are getting warmer. And oceans are getting warmer, and the coral just can't survive with these warm oceans. And so it's all caused by the human activity and carbon footprint of climate change. And so at MSC Cruises and MSC Foundation, what we have done is we paired up with the Super Bowl and amazing cities like Coral Gables to launch an awareness campaign. We have 54 NFL influencers who are currently spreading awareness about the importance of coral and what that means to our survival. And we're actually working with the University of Miami and NOVA to research a super coral, which is a hardy species that can live in these warm oceans and can live with the pollution that is currently in the oceans. And they help when we plant them, which we're going to plant them around our private island, which is Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve. We can help restore and rebound existing coral reefs. And the reason this is important is because this research that we're doing with these universities and with leading scientists from all over the world will serve as a global template for how we save coral globally. And because we have scientists from London, from the Bahamas, from many different parts of the world and our universities, this research could be the actual thing that helps save our futures.
Wow. Lots of extremely pertinent information. And well, as Vice Mayor Lago mentioned, our super coral play is to stop the use of fertilizers
Yes.
during the summer, the rainy summer months. What are some other ways that we can help save the coral reefs?
Well, firstly, I commend the city of Coral Gables and specifically Vice Mayor Vince Lago, because he's an exemplary role model for not only the city, but for other cities and the state of Florida, and I would say globally, because one of the biggest things that we can all do is work with our cities to inspire change. And that change, that simple action that we're asking everyone to do, is to reduce your carbon footprint. So this could be one action, whether it's conserving energy by using LED lights or lowering your AC or heat. That's not so much in Florida, but in other states, it's a big thing to not use as much heat. Anything that you can do to conserve energy is really important. Using electric cars or hybrid cars so you can reduce those emissions going into the environment. Also, believe it or not, eating more vegetables and less meat, because livestock has an incredible impact on the environment. So all of these things are amazing things that can be done to reduce greenhouse gas emissions in the environment. What Super Coral Gables is doing is it's a direct impact, the reduction of the banning of the fertilizers, that directly impacts the health of coral, and it's something that really will help future generations of our children to live in when we have a healthy coral reef system and a healthy ocean around us. And lastly, it can be simple as a beach cleanup that you do, or ride sharing and carpooling, anything that reduces energy or carbon footprint. And lastly, one of the things that you can do to support this campaign is we have this amazing bracelet called the Super Coral Play Bracelet. And if you go to supercoralplay.org, you can help us by purchasing a bracelet, and 100% of the proceeds go towards the research and actually planting a coral. So for every bracelet you buy, one super coral would be planted in Ocean Key Embassy Marine Reserve. And again, that will be used to help us rebound coral around the world.
Fantastic. You know, knowing all these many ways that we can contribute, I think that it's a good moment to point out that even though the initiative runs just through the end of the month, the Super Coral Gables initiative, that we should continue to do the Super Coral Play forever.
Yes.
Especially knowing now we all know all these many ways that we can contribute and do that. So wouldn't you agree that we should continue?
I'm happy that you mentioned that, because this is not just something for the moment. This is a lifestyle. And I think making these lifestyle changes, like our dear friend just mentioned, eating less meat, driving an electric car, having solar, which is all things that we do in my home. We have solar, we drive an electric car, we try to do the beach cleanups, we ensure that we recycle, that we compost. These are things that, when compounded over a group of individuals and a community, can have a drastic positive impact in the future of South Florida.
So, Vice Mayor, you don't just talk the talk, you walk the walk.
Pleasure to represent this city and this community, and I'm gracious and grateful for all the efforts and the commitment by not only everyone here today, but the residents and the business community that have been real advocates in regards to the environment.
So, Vice Mayor Lago, we want to thank you so much for your time, and as we just mentioned, for everything that you do for the city of Coral Gables. And likewise to you, Bonnie, thank you so much for your time and for the valuable information that you shared with us today. And with that, we're going to wrap it up, and we're going to do that by inviting you to continue to be a part of the Super Coral Play. So please share what you're going to do with all these wonderful suggestions that we got today. As part of this Super Coral Play, make sure that you include the hashtag Super Coral Play and continue to do what we can to help our coral reefs survive for another zillions of years. And with that, we thank you and we ask you to continue to stay watching Coral Gables Television, where we always have so much interesting and entertaining programming. Until next time.
The things that protect us, give us food and develop medicine are dying out quick.
Time to make a super coral play, y'all.
But that's nothing, cause this is my era.
What about you?
This is my